Hey there, my name's Scott Dalvecchio, and today I'm going to walk you through a bunch of movements that I do with my foam roller. Some additional equipment that you might need if you want to get into it is the foam block that you see in yoga classes a lot, and then either a double or a single lacrosse ball if you want to get a little bit more specific on the spot that we're working. So just to reiterate, the foam roller is a great tool to work kinks out of your muscles and to open up certain angles, but it's also a great activation tool before you start your workout, and obviously it's great for after workout. So I like to work from the head down, so that's how we're going to get started. So I like to start with the top half of my back. So we're not going to go any further than the bottom of the neck and after the ribs either. So hands crossed, working that back out. This is a great moment to feel if your back is uneven. So just doing small motions, working a little bit all the way down to the stopping points. And then what I like to do is once I feel like I've worked all those little pops out and whatnot, I go side to side a little bit and just kind of work a little bit more the shoulder areas while I can. And once I've spent about a minute there or so, I like to get 3 points of contact. So my head, my back here, and then my butt down here. And what this allows me to do is to arch the back. So we're working the opposite. So we're sitting there, so you listen and I'll just keep talking, but we're breathing. And this is working the opposite angle of your thoracic cage that you're doing while you're rowing, while you're cycling, while you're sitting at your desk. And sometimes I just like to, if I feel a little bit more advanced, I'll work all the way down and try to keep these pressure points. And the more you do it, the more you'll find some extra reach there. So once you've done this a lot, you can kind of keep doing this alongside your whole back. So when I'm done with my back, I like to get to the point where I start working my lats. This is a great, I'll work from the top down or vice versa, doing small movements, finding those tender points. And this is a great movement for rowers, even for cyclists, because you're here, and for lifting, because this is a great structural set of muscles that do a lot, especially in the rowing stroke. So I like to do small movements back and forth this way, and then just sitting here with my armpit open, you can really feel the stress on your shoulder here. And then sometimes if you feel like keep going, you can kind of go into the shoulder and into the tries. So once I've done both sides, same thing, about 30 seconds to a minute, I will work down to the glutes. So this is where my top is meeting my bottom. There's a lot of stress around here, especially for all those frontal plane athletes like rowing, cycling, running. And so what I like to do is you can either go into a bunch of different movements around your butt and just kind of feel those pain points, or you can start out by being here, knees up, and then just working side to side. And if you feel like you don't have enough space, move it to the side a little bit more. Sit here, let your weight carry you down. Always breathing both sides. Once we're done with that, we can actually get into the glute, leg up, squared up here, and just working all around each cheek. You carry a lot of muscles and a lot of tension here. So the piriformis, which is at the top of the glute, that's really tender for me. I like to sit here and just do small movements. And this really allows a lot of like tension release before and after each workout. Once I'm done with that, I'll go into the hamstring. So I can either, this is where I would get into the one lacrosse ball, double lacrosse ball to get a little bit more specific there. And then I'll just make my way around the entire muscle and just just work it out. And so the more I lean forward, the more I'm gonna have tension on the hamstring, and that's gonna create a lot more hurt, if you want to call it that. And then once I'm done with that, I work right into my IT band and parts of the quadriceps. And this is usually, a lot of people feel a lot of tension here, a lot of hurt. Spend about 30 seconds here, and then just start, once you feel like you've done a lot of work there, start working up into the quads, the front, into the hip flexors. I would say work always towards the top half of your leg versus being too close to your knee. That's a lot of pressure for that joint. And I like to work the inside of the leg too, but that's not necessary. Once I feel like I've breathed through a lot and released a lot of tension, I will go into my calves. This is great because there's a lot of blood flow happening here. This is an easy one. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll sit here and just kind of go back and forth, but I want to be a little bit more specific. I'll do one lacrosse ball or two lacrosse balls and just roll that out. My biggest point is down here. Go inside. And then I'll finish out with like some foot rolling. And what I like to do is open, close on that one ball, and then just roll out that arch, get underneath each knob there. And whatever you're using, whether it's a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball or anything really to release some tension, that's really good. And yeah, that's everything that I do on a regular basis, that I do before and after, and creates a lot of relief, and I hope that helps you.